Hello friends, good morning. Yeats, W.B. Yeats. Whenever the enchanting name comes into my mind, I become amazed and astonished. Yeats is an Irish literary figure, but he is a successful and the foremost modernist poet of the 20th century England. Yeats, I'm talking about Yeats, W.B. Yeats. He is, his style is of unique type. He used various symbols. In fact, he is a symbolist poet. He used various symbols as well as allusive imageries in order to particularize his themes, which he had written in his poetry in a more significant and resonant form. Generally, his work is being divided into three periods, general periods. His earlier works were of pre-Raphaelite mood, were of in a pre-Raphaelite mood, where he used strict poetic diction and of austere systems in his poetry, as well as themes of love and mystic systems of enhancing knowledge to all of us. Okay. Yes, he also wrote the themes of Irish folklore as well as Irish myths, where he strictly followed the middle periods diction as well as languages. Whenever we sway ourselves into his middle period works, it included the works of which he followed of more in a Landor style. Okay, where he abandoned the strict poetic dictions and the austere languages which he used before in his earlier works, in his pre-Raphaelite form of works. In his middle works, the rhythms which he wrote were of in a flexible way, in a flexible type, and so as well as hence it's a muscular type. Okay, some critics called it is a harsh modernistic approach, as well as they also called these works are in a less imaginative manner. But his later works were of more imaginative manner, as well as it reminds us of his earlier works of mystical approaches towards life. For example, the Second Coming, his poem of Second Coming, it is a dirge where he tells us about the apocalyptic mystical conception of the destruction of the European civilization. It is a mystical approaches towards life. So, as well as in his earlier in his later works, uh, it is of more the later works are of more his later works are of more personal veins, more autobiographical approaches towards life, where he talked about his son and daughter, um, and the meditations of the experiences of his growing old. Okay. He not only he not only uh, provides us a specimen of a great literary figure, but also in 1913 he helped Tagore in translating, in the English translation of translating the preface of Gitanjali, the Song's Offering, in which Tagore received the Nobel Prize in 1913. So there's a great part of W.B. Yeats in receiving the Nobel Prize of Tagore in 1913. Okay. Now this is the basic and as well as the basic conception of W.B. Yeats. Now I'm going to tell about a poem. I'm going to summarize a poem of W.B. Yeats. It is of his later ages poem. The poem's name is An Acre of Grass by W.B. Yeats. Okay, I'm going to summarize one by one stanza. Picture and book remain an acre of green grass for air and exercise. Now strength of body goes, midnight, an old house where nothing stirs but a mouse. Here the poet is saying about his old age, about his experience of his old age, that in his old age he only remains about up to the picture and book. He only can read books, he only can see pictures. An acre of green grass means he can only takes breath, as well as he can only exercise in an only acre of green grass. He cannot go beyond that. Now strength of body goes. He can feel that his strength of body is going day by day, is blowing off day by day, is blowing off day by day. Midnight, an old house where nothing stirs but a mouse. Yes, again it's a symbolism. Midnight, an old house. He compares his body, his physical strength, to an old house, to the midnight, where the spark is going to dim. When nothing stirs, when nothing leaves, but a mouse can only stirs. But a mouse is there in an old house. Okay. So the first stanza is completed. Second stanza says that my temptation is quiet, here's at life's end. Neither lose imagination, nor the meal of the mind, consuming its rags and bone, can make the truth unknown. My temptation is quiet, his passion is becoming quiet. His rage of passion is becoming quiet. His temptation, his eagerness to do things is becoming quiet because he's growing old. He has grown old. Here's at life's end means here's in this old version of life, is in old age of life. Neither lose imagination, but his imagination has never left away. Still now it is there. But the passion of imagination is not there, nor the meal of the mind, but the meal of the mind is still going on, consuming its dragon bone. But it focuses only the physical body, only the physical bones of the old man. There is no rage of passion, there is no rage of imagination, there is no passion of imagination, there is no energy, but it focuses on the physical body. Only it focuses on the physical body, that it remains in his old age, can make the truth known. That means he can experience that his body is there, but his imaginative power as well as his rage of passion is becoming weaker day by day. It is the truth which he experiences now in the second stanza. Now the third stanza. Grant me an old man's frenzy, myself must I remake till I am Timon and Lear, or that William Blake who beat upon the world till truth obeyed his call. So he begs. Here he begs. He is begging. He is begging to God, from God. Well, he's begging to God. So grant me, please give me an old man's frenzy, the old man's rage of passion, the old man's madness. Myself must I remake, so that I can remake myself. I can get back that passion to myself in my mind, so that my imaginative power is going to become powerful. Till I am in Timon. Who is Timon? And Lear, King Lear. Here he mentions about King Lear. King Lear and Timon.